Well, Melissa, thank you so much for joining us at the HumpDay Exchange.
Oh,
Woo-hoo. So we're really super excited to meet you. So my name is Elizabeth Debo. Everybody just calls me Debo,
okay.
and I'll let Michael introduce himself.
And I'm Michael.
Like, hey.
Hey.
Um, Listen, my son is working in the office today, and so my cat is like my best friend all of a sudden. Stop. I feel like she's going to attack me. I'm like, hey. So anyway, I'm super excited. I know that Elisa's mom was an LCSW and my mom's an MSW. And then, so I'm really excited. I was like, oh, that is exactly what we need in there. We need an LCSW that can work with all of the things, right? Because oh, okay. Oh, you
Diagnose.
want to be ugly? Let me switch this way. I'm just saying. All the verbiage. So yeah, I did want to give you the opportunity to tell us about who you are, like where you come from, like what brought you to where you are right now, because this is a pretty cool jump to take.
Oh yeah. It's a huge jump. Um, but here's the thing. Um, there's so much that we could be doing to better people's lives that are actually barriers to them experiencing well-being. And I'm only one person. I can only treat, so many people.
Right.
Um, seems like a better deal to and get a bigger bang for our buck if we make some systemic changes.
Oh, you cut out.
Oh,
Sorry, you got it quite quiet.
I just feel like it's a better deal if we can make some systemic changes
Mm-hmm.
and help people on a grander scale. Because it gets real old having to live in this soup of yuck all the time. Yeah. There's only so much that therapy can do, right? Like,
Right,
let's change some laws. Let's get people some help. Let's
right,
make impacts on their lives that are meaningful.
right.
Um,
Because we know the funding is there. They just
yeah.
keep taking it away.
We just keep taking it away, and for what? It's
Right.
it's just so I don't know. I'm just so tired of
I
it.
know.
Like we don't have to live this way.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And it's difficult on like a peer level because I'm like, listen, but we're all going through this together and none of us know what is going to happen. None of us have been through anything like this. And so, being able to rely on that community to where when it hits the fan, am I prepared? Or if I'm freaking out at the moment, like who am I going to call? Where can I touch base? All of the things.
Yeah, I feel like in Oklahoma, I mean, I didn't grow up here. I was born in Oklahoma City, and then my family moved all over, kind of Oklahoma, Texas, Kentucky, um, and I graduated high school in Amarillo, Texas, and then moved here because I was a good little Nazarene girl at the time, and went to Southern Nazarene University and graduated from there in 1999. Um, but I've lived here ever since then. So I've been here since 1995. Um,
Oh,
and I just feel like there's there's so much room for us to have really meaningful change happen in our government to better the lives of people. Like it's just we don't have to live like this. Um, I think we were talking about something. I totally lost my train of thought because now I'm looking down here at the comments.
oh, it's good. That's what's the beauty of our show. If you had grandkids pop up, we'd be like, "Hold up, come on,
Hey.
Granny, they got to talk to you." That's the beauty of our show. Like that's just so
Yeah.
cool about that. Where it's like, come on, I'm over here still trying to figure out how to get the boxes on.
Yeah.
Um,
Melissa, if I'm not mistaken, you're running as independent, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, so what are some of the? I think you're, if I'm not mistaken, you're our first independent, right, Elizabeth?
Okay.
So I'm
I
excited. I want to ask you, what are some of the advantages and disadvantages you think running as an independent in Oklahoma. I know it's hard to run as a solely run as a Democrat in Oklahoma, so I couldn't imagine what an independent would be like. There you go.
Um, well, actually, I didn't really think much about what my party affiliation was. I changed it back in 2022 or something. I'd been a Democrat prior to that, but um, gosh, I just got so many phone calls and emails and whatever. And I was like, maybe if I switch my party affiliation up, I'll get off somebody's list. And that didn't really happen. But it didn't really matter to me what my affiliation was. I knew that I was going to vote for the people who aligned with my values. So when I decided to run, I had, when the Democratic Party missed that deadline to let independents vote in the primaries, and so then I went and changed my voter registration. I just got my new one in the mail last week, and so I'm registered as a Democrat again, but it didn't take effect until April 7th, and that was after the filing date. So I had to file as an independent. Um, so that's a long story longer you didn't ask for, but I feel like one of the benefits could be, I guess time will tell, but the voter registration for independents is up by like 30% this year. And especially among women. And so like maybe that's to my advantage. I don't know why everybody else switched up their party affiliation. I can imagine that it's probably dissatisfaction with both parties, and it feels like nobody's really doing anything. But hopefully that could be a benefit to being an independent. I just know that when I went to, so I was working with Sally's List.
Okay.
And I've been talking to them for a year or so. I went through their training, I think, back in 2024. But I got a list of like different campaign managers and people that I should contact to see if they would help me with my campaign. And I only got responses from two of the people that I emailed, but the last one that I talked to was like, I only work with Democrats and you got a Democrat in your race. So nobody's really going to work with you because you're an independent and they don't want to pull votes away from the Democrat in your race. So, and I get that. I mean, I guess that's fair. So that's one impact that I was not counting on, I guess.
Right.
So,
Somebody's asking what Sally's List is.
Sally's List is a nonprofit that helps train and promote progressive women into elected office. Yeah. Lots of us with no party affiliation, I see. Yeah. A lot.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
And I am excited because I think you're in my district. I'm here in Norman, so I'm excited to actually get to talk to you and get to learn a little bit more about you.
Yeah.
So,
Super exciting.
You guys know anything about the Democrat Jonathan Morales that's registered? And
so there's a lot more people registered than I think we thought there was, and so now I think I know Lisa and I have both like pulled that up and kind of looked around. Lisa more than I have, but and so getting those emails out of, hey, we'd love to have you on the show. We would love to have him on the show, and then if you're running for the same position, then we would ask, hey, do you guys both want to come on and we can do a little debate, right? A nice friendly not debate, town hall. I hate to say debate.
Sure.
That sounds mean. But you know what I mean? Like that's we all want the same thing. Hopefully, peace, love, ladybugs and daisies. Um, you know, and part of it is we just want change.
Yeah.
And we wanted change so bad that our now elected chief got elected in 2016 because people wanted change. We didn't want this much change, but and so that shows me now, like I feel like now more than ever that we can we can have some change. We can actually, make a difference. Not that I don't ever have hope, but there's something about this one that I'm like, man,
Yeah.
so much hope, so
Yeah.
much hope.
I feel like I feel like I listen to a select few podcasts, but the political ones that I listen to on a regular basis, they they are there's a change. There's a change in how they're talking about, just kind of the energy in the country is like we want authentic leaders. We want people who are real people, um, who really want to work for the working class people. Um, and that's exciting. Like I'm so sick of getting to an election and just having to pick between the lesser of two evils. Like I really want a candidate who really wants to push for change. And I know one person can't. It's not going to happen if we just have one person. So the fact that there is this kind of swell of energy around electing lots of people around the state in particular, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah. Elisa, we wanted much change, just not towards fascism. Oklahoma voted overwhelmingly for Bernie. I forgot about that. Yeah, so hopefully, now we'll have enough people that really mean it, right? Like I need your actions to match those words. Like I need you to go to the poll and actually do things.
Yeah, not only that, Debo, but like we need in the legislature, we need a majority. It can't just be a handful of people here and there. Like that's not is what's going to get us change, systemic
Right.
change.
Right.
Right? Like we need to have enough people who will vote in the legislature for laws that are going to make an impact. And like the things that people want, the things that people have gone out and petitioned for to get onto ballots, medical marijuana, Medicaid expansion, this 832 state question 832 that's coming up on this ballot about raising the minimum wage. Like these are all voter initiated ballot measures. This didn't come from the legislatures who are supposed to be up there like making laws that have an impact on our life, that better our everyday lives. These are coming from Oklahomans. And I just think that speaks to what Oklahoma wants, and we're able to vote in when it gets up on a ballot, like is stuff that is impacting our daily lives, not whether Sharia law is okay or not, or whether parents should be able to let their 12-year-old get married. Like what this what are we doing? We got people out here who don't have homes. We have people out here who don't have health care. We have Oklahomans who are dying by suicide every day. Like, what are we doing?
I'm glad you kind of touched on that, because I know I heard you talk about a lot of systemic change, and um, as you know, Norman, we have a lot of homelessness here. So, have you have any solutions for maybe like stable housing? And then I don't want to tread on Elizabeth's thing, but like mental health or anything like that.
I don't have all the answers for these things. I don't know what's possible. I think there's lots of really good ideas that we could come up with. I think the thing that bothers me, Michael, is that no one's trying to do anything that I've seen. no one's throwing anything up. They'll take a measure, or they'll make a vote on what not to do with people who are experiencing homelessness. But what are we really doing to address the issue? It's an issue everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And like not even in our state. Like it is a nationwide issue. Like one band-aid here and one band-aid here is not going to cut it when you are gushing blood from an appendage. And like that's what it feels like as, just an everyday Oklahoman that is happening in the legislature. And so I don't have like I've worked in public schools. I have some ideas about what we could do to address education systemically. I have some ideas about what we could do to address healthcare systemically. But as far as homelessness goes, I don't have anything in particular that I'm like, this is the answer. But who does have the answer is all of us collectively. We can come up with something. People always do. So I trust that Oklahomans and people who work with people who experience homelessness, and that's not me necessarily, but there are experts out there that we can pick their brains and get some ideas and try to do something, but we're just not doing anything is what it feels like.
Yeah, well, no, I love that answer. I always like when a politician can admit that they don't have an immediate answer right now, which I love the honesty, and you are correct. Like just last year when they were cutting like food stamps, I saw a lot of Norman residents. We all like the citizens gathered together, and we gathered food for a lot of people, and we're helping feed people during Thanksgiving. And as of also we did in Oklahoma City as well. But yeah, no, I definitely agree with that for sure.
Well, it doesn't help the fact that they go in. Here's the thing: they go in and clean out the encampment, but they will post, warnings. Normally, I know that they've done that in Oklahoma City. I'm not sure about Norman, but what I can say is it makes it really difficult to do those things in Norman or in that surrounding area when you have an active senator.
Yeah.
Basically dehumanizing the unhoused and making it to where the only place that the unhoused could legally be would be Oklahoma City and Tulsa.
Right.
They're going to criminalize homelessness. They've already got that. They do that in Shawnee. Like you can't sit down between certain hours, and people will call. So what are the things you did mention the school and stuff like that? So that was something that Michael and I were talking about yesterday about the school systems with criminal justice and mental health, because some of it ties in together.
Yeah.
Kind of what's your thought on that? Wait, am I correct, Michael? Isn't that where we're kind of?
Yeah, yeah. No, you're good. Spot on.
So I was a school social worker for OKCPS 2017 to 2019. I did my practicum. So when you do your master's in social work, the 2-year program, you have a practicum each year. And so my first year practicum was at OKCPS, and I shadowed with several school social workers there, and they were all special ed school social workers at the time. And I'm a mom, and my kids were in elementary and junior high at the time. And I was like, you know what? I could totally see myself doing this. I could totally see myself in a school district. And so when I graduated, I was working at Palomar for a little bit, and a position came open at OKCPS where I got to just be in one school. And all the other school social workers were spread out and had like 10, 15 schools apiece. I got to just be in one elementary school. And they've since closed that elementary school when Pathways to Greatness came through. But it was North Highland Elementary School, go Bears. And I learned a lot in that school setting, and I learned a lot about the system. And I think one of the things that was shocking to me. Like my kids went to a Title I school here in Moore, and I was active on the PTA. Um, but in that school, out of like 16 teachers, 14 of them were emergency certified teachers. So what we ended up doing all day long was putting out fires and addressing crises. And we never got to a point where the system in the school was like working like it's supposed to work. And so, one of the things that I think would be really important in helping make systemic change in our education system would be one, we have to address the class sizes. We have to. The second thing would be emergency certified teachers. I understand that teachers are leaving. I understand why they are leaving. And I get that emergency certifications seem like they would be a good backup plan. But the truth is that the people that we put in these classrooms don't have any classroom management skills generally. And so it's just mass chaos. So the only way that I see an emergency certified teacher working is if we have support around them of other teachers who can be helpful, or support staff that can help teach them and give them the classroom management skills that maybe they don't have. So I think I would want to address the emergency certification system. And then the other thing is, I'm a school social worker, and I see the need for school social workers in all schools. They are educators, they are connectors, they understand the system, and they can help bridge the gap between parents and school. They are mental health experts, so they can also be helpful in, addressing, I think we might need a referral for this kid for outside services. I don't think we need more therapists in school. I know that might be a weird take coming from an LCSW, but like the whole point of school is to get your education. Right. And I don't think it's okay, nor is it helpful in getting your education if we're pulling kids out of the classroom to, open up a can of worms, and then sending them back into the classroom. Like that doesn't make sense to me as far as like being pro education. It takes away and can sometimes be a barrier, honestly, to them getting their education. That's my opinion. So I think school social workers can help with special ed, and there's no certification for them in the Department of Education. You can get a certification for school counselor, you can get a certification for, a teacher or upper level staff, but there is no certification for school social workers. And I think we could add that, and we could benefit all of our schools with having school social workers there. So those are my ideas.
Do you have ideas or plans like how you would possibly implement those?
I don't. I know those are things that I would want to collaborate with, and that's not something that I think I want to, be the only person speaking on. I know what I've seen, and I know what I've experienced, and I know that's not everybody's experience. And there are things that I was only in an elementary school. I didn't see what it was like in a high school all day long, or in a junior high. I wasn't in a rural area. And so I would want to hear voices there from people that have those experiences too. Yeah.
While we're still on schools, I think we ask everybody, what's your stance on school vouchers?
Absolutely not. We don't need any monies being diverted from our schools. Oh, I did forget one other thing, Michael. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah. Another thing that I think I mean, obviously, it's the most obvious thing, and that is pay teachers what they're worth. Um, because that is, we have to at least be at the regional mean. Like Texas beats us all the time, taking our teachers. Like, stop it. Um, we need to pay teachers. And we need to treat them like professionals because they are. This is not glorified babysitting. They are trying to teach. I don't know a single teacher who drives into the school at 7 in the morning or whatever, thinking like, how am I going to ruin somebody's day today? Like they're there and they're going to work every day doing jobs that a lot of us cannot do, don't want to do, aren't trained to do, and we need to treat them like professionals. Anyway, I don't think I don't think I answered your other question. I got off on that.
No, you answered. I mean, yeah, absolutely. Vouchers got to go because they take. I feel like they take away public school funding. So I mean, no, yeah, I think you hit it spot on. So, dang.
No. So, I know. Sorry. Um, I know that Michael and I. So we always meet the day before, and I know that we were looking at is what's it called, Balapedia.
Oh yeah.
So just the things that were kind of like your wheelhouse, your special interest. Can you like share that with the rest of us?
My special
So maybe
interest.
we can get some questions and get popping.
What do you mean? Maybe I don't understand.
Oh, what everybody has like the top three that they're like this, and this. Because I know obviously mental health, but you've actually added like the school component, like some criminal justice, and me personally, I think everybody should have a therapist, an LCSW, a case manager. Can't go wrong.
Yeah.
But I wanted, yeah, I wanted you to like share with us, and so we can hear it with your own words.
Yeah. My top three, and the way that I see that these things are all connected to each other, right? Like if we don't have equity and access to quality education, quality healthcare, and work, then what do we got? I feel like these are all tied together, and so I want to see us make some kind of long-term goals. This is why I'm really excited about being in the Senate is because you've got a longer oh my gosh, what's the word? A longer term,
Yes.
right? But I would really like us to like have some long-term ideas and thoughts about, okay, this is the end goal, this is what we want to see, and like what are some phases, what are some steps that we're going to take to get there, because I think Oklahoma is really good at addressing crises moments, but we could do some prevention maybe that helps us not ever get into a crisis in the first place. I would really, really like us to address education and healthcare and work in a long-term way. So those are my big three. I know for working class people, like most people I know want to work. They want to be involved. They have something that they want to do. And the problem is that the things that maybe we're good at or that we're geared toward or that we want to do are not always the things that we can do to make a living.
Right.
And I would love for people to be able to have work. My daughter's 21. She has 3 roommates. She has 2 jobs. Like that's ridiculous. She doesn't have to do that, by the way. She could come home and live with us, but she doesn't have to do that either.
We'll send this clip to her.
Right? We're like, your mom wants you home.
Yes.
That will always be your baby. My baby is 30. I get it. The mommy's
My
little
baby was
angel.
Watching.
He hates that. Now we have fur babies.
Yeah.
Like I think that that these things all go together. And when people have paid leave, when they have the support of with childcare, when they have health insurance that they can depend on, that they know when I get sick, I can go to the doctor. I don't have to push through. I don't have to get everybody else at my job sick. Like, when we have these things happening, people will be at work, people will be contributing to our economy, and contributing to society, and 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 these things are all tied together. I just feel like if we're not supporting, giving people the benefits that everybody needs, paid time off, sick leave, health insurance, these benefits, even people who do have jobs where these benefits are there, the only reason that they're there is because historically people fought for those, for corporations and for businesses, and forced their hand to give us these things. And I just think we stop too soon. We need to keep fighting to get everybody to have these protections and these benefits, because people do want to work. They just don't want to live to work.
Right.
Yeah.
That part.
It's like that. I know. So Red State Rebel, imagine being supported.
Yeah.
What? Oh my God.
Speaking of support, how do you feel about town halls? Because we're not really seeing town halls come from our current leaders. So would you commit to holding town halls?
Of course. Like I said, I'm certainly not the expert on everything, and I am not a like a polished politician or anything. I'm just a normal, regular old person, and people can ask me whatever questions they want to ask. I might not always have the answer that they're looking for, but I'll help find the answer. I mean, my God, I've been doing that for all my life. So, yeah.
And that's what we love. I personally look for the real. I don't want a polished politician, because that's what we have now.
Right.
And I'm looking to shake things up and looking for something different, because clearly what we have now isn't working. So I love your honesty and the willingness to learn, I guess, is what I really love. So yeah.
No, same. I'm just like, yay. Well, it's refreshing, right? It's refreshing to have somebody go, you know what, I don't know, but I'm willing to learn, and I'm willing to listen to other people and bring in those people that have that experience and knowledge. Like, I love that. Like, I do that even at work. I'm like, I don't know, come here. They know. Because I feel like that's how it should be. I don't want to have to know everything.
Yeah, I don't think we can. And anybody who do, I don't know that I trust that person.
Right.
Yeah, I have limited experience. I have some experiences, and I feel like they're valuable, but I own a small business. I don't have any employees. I am the employee, but my husband owns his own business. He works in construction and has for the last almost 30 years. He's a trim carpenter, and he does great work. He does beautiful work. He is an artiste, in my opinion. But he's never had like an opportunity for a license. He doesn't have a union behind him. He doesn't have anyone fighting to protect his jobs or his ability to work. And I don't think that's right. You know, he's put his body literally on the line for these jobs, and he's got no protections. We don't have health insurance. You know, so
Well, I know, and even with so now with the no health insurance, so the whole purpose of doing the CCBHC, so the Certified Community Behavioral Health Centers, was to enforce wellness, was to get people, get them primary cares. If we had to take them to the primary care or the specialist, we would do those things to keep them out of the ER. So now they've cut all of those benefits and the ERs are filling back up. You know, like, oh, we're so busy. And I'm like, quit cutting funding. I did go. I got to share with Elisa and Michael. I went to the Democrats put on like a setting, like a kind of like their own town hall, like at the Capitol, and it's kind of a share your own topic kind of thing. And yesterday it was really, really on criminal justice, the prison system. We're 50th in the nation for school, but we're number one in incarcerations. The pardon and parole board. The mental health, it all combines in that. Like the patrol board has, they make, what was it, 24,000 a year. They work 20 hours a week, so part time, and they want full time benefits, or full time work out of them. So people are sitting in prison because they've gone in front of the parole board, waiting for the next one. 15 years later, they can have another because they're so backed up. Like, that is unacceptable. Domestic violence. We're number one for domestic violence. And a lot of it, I was like, a lot of it is you guys keep continuing to cut funding, and now you're continuing to cut Medicaid, and now you want to take away the expansion, but you don't want to offer any solutions.
right.
So then we're stuck with, we don't know what's going on. Our streets are filling up tents off of Lincoln. I was like, oh, that won't last long. But you know what I mean? You're mad because we have tent cities. You're mad because we have the camps, right? And even though they may give them notice ahead of time, it's more expensive because now I get to come into my office. Let's get your license. Let's get your ID. Let's get your birth certificate. We have to replace all that again.
Yeah.
And so instead of just treating them like humans, we're going to continue this vicious cycle.
Right.
And so thank goodness that there are places that the mobile, like Be the Change, where they can go out and they do the mobile showers and laundry, humanize people.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just like, it really broke my heart yesterday because I'm like, oh, it's one of those things. It doesn't affect me.
Right.
So I don't think about it. And it's not that I don't think about it. That sounds kind of harsh, but if it's not right in your face, it's not, you know what I mean?
I do. And if we don't take care of people all across the board, I'm talking from newborns on up to aging populations and everyone in between. If
You kind of faded out again.
am I on now?
Can you hear better? Yeah.
If we're not taking care of everybody, like, everybody loses. I don't have kids in school anymore. That doesn't mean I shouldn't have to fund public schools anymore, because the kids who are coming out of school, those are going to be the kids, working at Walmart. Those are going to be the kids coming into colleges. Those are going to be the kids eventually graduating and coming into the workforce. Like, I want those people to have a quality education. I want the people that I'm working next to, who I'm working with, who are providing services for me, to have had a quality education. It all matters and it all touches us. I mean, Debo, even if we don't see homeless people while we're in our daily lives, it doesn't mean that it isn't affecting us somewhere down the line.
Right.
Like, everything is connected. This is the thing that kind of drives me crazy a little bit, is like, you cut funding here and it's going to have a domino effect and impact the ERs. right? If we're not taking care of prevention, it is going to show up in crisis somewhere. And that is exactly what an ER is for crisis. So, and then if we don't have the staff there to take care of everybody who's coming through, you're going to have people who will leave and not work there anymore. And I don't blame them. But like at the end of the day, this speaks back to that systemic issue. Like we can't just take a band-aid and keep putting it on places. We really need to look at the whole system and maybe burn it all down and start over again.
I'm here for that. So Lisa made the comment, so having record layoffs, having that huge impact, not only as us and the unhoused, but now you're probably making more unhoused. And that is what we don't have stats on. That's what's being ignored in the stats. Because we do the, is it a point in time once a year? Where we get that how many homeless we have out that you got to see at that time. I just know that it's been picking up so much. People still complain. I'm like, then stop cutting funding. Right. You don't want to see this and be around it. You didn't. But stop cutting our funding. Now you get to see it again.
The Republicans like to cut the funding and say, like, we don't have the money to pay for this, but we don't have the money not to pay for it. You know what I mean? Like, how are you going to convince businesses to come into our state when we're 50th in education, when we don't have a healthcare system where you can get in, where, the roads are trash, and there's a homelessness population problem increasing in every major city? Who wants to move their whole business and all their employees into that? Like, it is costing you to not do these things. And I've also been hearing my whole life conservative Republicans say, like, we can't use these tax dollars to help everybody, and we can't use these tax dollars to help people who won't work, and we can't do it to feed people, and that's all stuff that all these nonprofits are going to do. Show me a nonprofit who is not like tax maxed out. And churches also are supposed to, according to conservative Republicans, be a part of like this system that we have to help the needy. And like, show me a church that's doing that on a level that's helpful. I'm sure they pass out Walmart gift cards every now and then, but that's not what I'm talking about. That's another Band-Aid. This really needs to be like, this isn't rocket science either. Like, there are other places where they do this and they do this well. There are systems out there that work. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. There are places who have basic services for everyone all the time, and they're doing it. And like, we can too. We can have nice things.
Right? We can have nice things. Love that. Let's see here. Michael, what else were we talking about? Like, get all your questions in from Miss Melissa.
Yes. Yeah, I think we kind of hit on everything that I had.
I think.
But I think funding for crisis intervention, I think we kind of touched on that. That was one of my questions. I think we definitely want to hopefully increase funding for that mobile.
I do have a comment on that.
Yeah.
On the crisis interventions and the trainings and all of that. So, the Oklahoma City Police Department has, they have the CIT officers. So everybody has CIT training. There are specific officers that have additional. It's like 40 hours of training. I'm sure they do other touch-ups, but that I lost my whole train of thought. I know, I hate that. I was like, ooh, what were we talking about? I was so frustrated. Oh, 988. So, person at the Waffle House. And the friend is like basically saying goodbye. He's already called the kids, they've already called the significant others, the exes, the parents, the brothers, sisters, and like having this one last meal with his friends. And they were like, wait, what? Like, had the whole thing. So they called 988 thinking they're going to get some help. So 988, of course, calls PD. PD rolls in 4 deep, run in, grab this guy, put him in handcuffs. Um, and because he had a warrant that he didn't even know about, I guess there was like a court cost or a fee or something that he missed, like a $50 ticket. Instead of taking him to a crisis unit, a URC, even an ER, they took him to jail. And I wish I don't even know how to. This has gone on for years, years. I would have to call CIT and I'm like, hey, this client needs to ride to the ER or the URC, and if they had a warrant, they would take him. Which now I have people that will absolutely, nope, I'm fine. Nope, I'm good. And you can see it that they're not, but now that trust is broken.
Yeah.
And then the liability of like if I'd be like, oh, I can take him, they're like, no, not in that state.
Right.
So I don't even know how to verbalize it because it's so frustrating that I'm like, how do we get people help by getting them help? Like if we're calling for help,
Yeah. Because the police is not the help that they need.
it's not.
The police is not the help that they need. Yeah.
And it's really sad when you roll up on some of these overnight shelters.
Yeah.
There's a full on brawl going out one day, and they're like, "We've called the police," and I said, "Hello," wasn't even 10 minutes, 5 minutes. I was like, "This is unacceptable." I know that we all get frustrated about, we're having to deal with things that we don't want to see, and it's uncomfortable with our own house, right? But these are facts.
Mm-hmm.
We don't get to treat them less than by our police department. They're already down, let's not kick them. So these things rile up because we have unmedicated, unhoused, um, so much trauma, physically, mentally, sexually, verbally, so many things. And like, what are we going to do with that? I'm just so frustrated with that. And what really broke me was to go into the thing at the Capitol on Monday going, this can be fixed. We can do this. Sorry, that's my rant. I'm like,
no,
but it's frustrating, Oh, I can't hear you all of a sudden.
The people who need the most help are the ones who get the least help. And
right.
that is so wrong. That
Mm-hmm.
it just morally it's wrong. And I don't care what side of the aisle you are on. Like I just don't understand how there's any excuse or reason for treating people like that. People are people.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's unacceptable. We need better. We need to do better, and it's going to take a while to build trust with people. Like I don't blame them for not trusting us. Like
Same.
why should they? We've not given them a good reason to. And I don't know if that was just a one-off that you were talking about.
It's not.
988 and getting the.
Oh, I can't hear you.
Is that me?
Elizabeth, I think it's your mic might be rubbing against your shirt or something, and it's causing it to cut out a little bit.
Oh, for me?
Yeah, I think Elizabeth, I think anytime it cuts out, I see your box light up blue.
Well, I just think that's ridiculous, and our OCPD, from what I understand, is like one of the highest brutality ratings in nation. Um, and that's not okay.
Mm-mm.
And if that's the case, like, why are we sending them to address a mental health crisis?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Just the crisis in general um, drives me drives me a little bit crazy because it doesn't have to be like that. We can have a system where we focus on prevention and creating a safety net around people so that we don't ever get to the crisis. Like it it feels so nice not to be in crisis. We can do it.
Okay, I had to do the puzzle thing. It cuts out.
I do have a question because I work in property management. I'll try to slip one last question in. But I work in property management, and of course, I see some rough times for families facing eviction, and I always say that's the worst part of my job. If I can help it, I try to refer people to programs, but I find that there's really not a whole lot of programs out there to refer these people to other than just like churches. Would you support um, expanding funding on these programs to help these people stay in their homes?
Yes, I know that that is one of the best ways to prevent unhoused people is the eviction system. Um, we can change that. That's easy. And also, I would say um, economically, it makes more sense to do that. Um, you know, if we're not okay with looking at people as people and treating them with dignity, let's just look at the economics of it. I think um, preventing an unhoused person is more economically feasible than going through the whole eviction process and then hoping and praying, thoughts and prayers for somebody in the nonprofit sector to step up and help. That just doesn't make any sense.
100%. I think is it Julia Kurt is a good one to would be a good one to work with too on that too. So she's paving the way for that, and I'm excited
Yeah.
and hopefully work together on that. So,
And then Carrie Hicks with the prescription medication healthcare.
yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah. That was my other job after school social work was I worked at the Mary Mahoney Clinic.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I worked at the one in Shawnee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was right downtown in Shawnee. And that's where I was during COVID. So yeah, I just think we I mean I feel like I've said this a million times before, so I apologize, but we should expect better. We pay in taxes with the idea that we are going to have services in return for those taxes, and we should get services. These are not extravagance that we're asking for that we need, like healthcare, education, access and equity to both of those things, and then protection so that we can work. Like these are just like the basics, and we need them.
We do. It's so much. It's too much. Michael, do you have any final parting words?
I don't think so. I think I got everything I needed. I think
I did.
pretty informed. I love it.
I'm very excited. I was like, ooh, and she's an LCSW. I'm like, yay. No, I'm excited, because it's refreshing to hear somebody say, you know what, I don't know, but I'm going to find out.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I can figure it out.
Yeah, we can.
And if I can't, I'm going to ask people around me to figure it out. That's what we want to hear. That's the change when your actions match your words and your vibe and personality match your words. Like, that's a big deal. Oh, how can we help? How can we help get folks, can you read that? To get you elected? How can we tell folks to help you?
Well, I've got a link tree set up. I haven't taken any donations yet for my campaign. I was just kind of um, waiting to see if I could work with a professional, and it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. Maybe after the primaries that might help happen, but
Right.
I'm just out here, you know, doing my thing by myself. So if anyone wants to contribute to my campaign so that I have some materials that I can take around as I door knock on the weekends, that'd be great. Maybe in the future, I can get a team of people organized to go knocking. If anyone knows how to work WordPress, I have a crappy little website that I've hobbled together that I need help with. Um, Getting the word out, I think, is the main deal, and then you can also contribute to my campaign. My link tree is on my TikTok.
Nice. And so can they also, in that link tree, like you said, like, hey, I don't monetarily, but hey, I can go door knock with you and that kind of thing. They can sign up on that with you.
I believe so.
Nice.
If they can't, they can just message me on TikTok, and we can start our own little sign up sheet.
Are you on any other social medias?
I have a Facebook page, but I just hate Facebook, and so I never get on there and mess with it. So I think I'm just gonna focus on TikTok. I feel like that's where my people are anyway, and see what happens.
Nice. And then we do upload the final broadcast up to YouTube, so you can always direct people over there as well. If they want to see this and they missed it on here, you can be like, go over there, see my interview.
Nice. Thanks, Organizing Okies.
Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll direct people to your website and hopefully get you elected. Yay! All right, thank you so much. Have a good night.